Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's tutorial shall be on how to make a shirt collar. If this is your first time on this channel, this is Donlarrie, and here I upload sewing tutorials and pattern drafting every week. Kindly subscribe and don't forget to put on the notification bell so that you get notified anytime I upload a new video. So guys, let's get to work. So to get started, we're going to be using the shirt pattern that we drafted earlier. If you're here to watch the video on how to draft this shirt pattern, I will put the link down in the description box so that you can watch it. So to draft the shirt collar, you need to know that it consists of a collar stand and a fold. So that is what we're going to be drafting now. So first of all, we will draft out the collar stand. So to draft the collar stand, the first thing you will need to do is to draw an horizontal line. So once you've drawn out the horizontal line, you can just divide this line into two. So just like this. And this point will be the shoulder seam. So that will be the shoulder seam. And towards this side will be our center front, while this side will be the center back. So we are going to be measuring the neckline. And to measure the neckline for the shirt pattern, we will need to fold in the overlap line, the facing line, and the interfacing line. So we are going to be working on the basic neckline, which is here. So if you've watched the video on how to draft this pattern, you will remember that we remove 1 inch. This 1 inch, we remove it from the front shirt pattern and we added it to the back shirt pattern so that when we make our shirt, this will overlap to the front. So now we're going to be adding this 1 inch that we remove from the front. We're going to be adding it to whatever we have at this front neckline. So I will be measuring the front neckline now, and I'm going to measure from the center front. This is our center front, and I will stop at this line, which is our original shoulder line. Remember that this is our 1/2 inch seam allowance. So we're not going to be adding this 1/2 inch to this pattern, because before we can join the collar to the shirt, we will have joined the shoulder seam of both the front and the back with this 1/2 inch seam allowance. So you don't need to add it to it. I will be measuring from here to here, and this is how I will place my tape measure. So you measure it like this, and here I have 4.5 inches. And remember that I've removed 1 inch from here before, so I will add it to it. That will give me 5.5 inches. So at the shoulder seam, which is this point, I will mark 5.5 inches towards this side, and this will be my center front. Then we're going to be doing the same thing. We're going to be measuring the back neckline, and now we are going to be measuring from here. So I will just fold in this 1 inch that will go to the front. So I folded that in, and we are going to be measuring from the center back towards the shoulder seam. You can see this is our shoulder line. So I will just place my tape measure here, and then I have 3.7 inches here. So I will just mark that 3.7 inch towards this side, and I will label this as the center back. Then we can set our pattern aside. So having done this, the next thing we want to do now is to come to the center front, and at the center front you're going to measure 1.25 inches. So you mark 1.25 inch up like this, then I will square a line up so this is 1.25 inches. So once you've measured this, the next thing we want to do now is to connect the center back to the shoulder seam and to this point using the curved part of our ruler, because we're going to be creating a kind of curved shape. So you can see the way I place my set square. So this is the straight line, and from the shoulder seam I will just draw a curved line to connect it to that point. So just like that. So once you've done this, the next thing you want to do now is to go to the center back, and at the center back we're going to be marking 2.5 inches up at the center back. Then you square a line So once you square this line up, then you will need to mark 1.5 inch again on this same line. So you mark 1.5 inch. This line is just a guide for us. So you mark 1.5 inch here. So I will just put 1.5 inch here. So then you come to the center front again, and then this time we are going to be marking 1.25 inch again. And this time around we are not going to be marking a straight line. So we're going to be slanting our tape measure. Just place it slantly, and then you mark your 1.25. You can see the way I place the tape measure, just slantly. Then I will connect the 2 points together. The next thing we want to do is to connect this point to this point, and then we make sure that the line is curved and it is parallel to this line. So I will just place it like this, and then I will draw the line. So once you've done this, then we want to give our collar a kind of shape that you normally see on the shirt, and that is always around the overlapping side. So to do that, you will need your front shirt pattern, and then you measure whatever you have at this overlapping line, this line. So, and I have 0.8 here, so that is what I will measure here. So I will come to this part and I will measure 0.8, which is here. Then I will extend that line, that curved line, like so. And then you need to connect this point to this point. So you make sure you just curve it a little bit. You can just place it like this, and then you create that kind of curved shape. So you can use your hand to just curve it like this. And this is how to draft the collar stand, as simple as this. So this is just the basic. If you don't want your collar stand to be as big as this, what we have here is 1.25, and that is the standard. If you want yours to be tiny than this, all you will need to do, instead of marking 1.25 here, you will mark 1 inch here. And then at this point where I mark 1.5 inch, all you will need to do is to mark 1.25 inch. So you remove 0.25 inch from here, and you will also remove 0.25 inch from here, and then you will have your collar stand tiny than this one. So once you've done this, the next thing we want to do now is to draft the collar itself, which is the fall part of this pattern. And then to do that, you connect these 2 points together. You can use a broken lines to do that, and that is what I will use. So you draft a broken line. So this is, I will label this as the collar stand. So once you've drawn out the broken lines, whatever you have from these broken lines to this your collar stand, you will mark it, and then we have 1 inch here. So I will just go up and mark down 1 inch. Whatever you have from here to here, that is what you will mark from here to here. So I will mark 1 inch. You square up the line, and then we're going to connect this point now to this point using the curved part of our ruler. So just like this. So now from here now, we want to mark the width of the collar, and it's usually 2 inches, but if you want it more than that, you can mark whatever you want. But 2 inches is the standard, and that is what I will use. So we mark it like that, square up the line again. Now from this point, you will need to mark on a straight line, you will need to mark between 8.5 to 9 inches. That is the standard for this. So I will be using 9 inches for this tutorial, and then I will just mark that 9 inches here. So you make sure the line is straight. We are going to be drafting out an horizontal line, so make sure it is straight. So you connect it like this. So the next thing we want to do now is to connect this point to this point. So you place your ruler and then you connect this point together. As simple as this. So you can now go ahead and shape your collar edge as desired. So for instance, if you want this edge more pointed than this, you can just place your ruler like this, then you increase it to whatever you want. But the standard that you can measure from here to here is between 8.5 to 9 inches. So if you want it more sharper than that, you can just go up a little bit. You can see the way I place it, and then you can even give it a nice curve at this part. So you can make your collar to be like this. That is if you want. So you can shape it once you've drafted out the basic, so you can shape it as desired. So this is how to draft it. The next thing we are going to be doing now is to trace this pattern, because we're going to be separating the collar stand from the collar itself. So this is our collar fall. So the next thing we want to do now is to trace this out on another pattern paper, because we need to add our seam allowance round the pattern. So we are going to be separating this collar stand from the collar fall. So I'll be tracing that out now. So you place another pattern paper underneath, just like I've done here, and then we're going to be tracing out this pattern. So I will first of all trace out the collar fall. So as you can see now, we have the shirt collar traced out with the seam allowance added to it. So the next thing we want to do now is to cut this out, and then we're going to be cutting it on the fabric. So to cut on the fabric, you're going to be needing 2 pieces of this, and then you're going to be needing 2 pieces of this. And also we're going to be cutting out an interfacing for the collar fall, just to give it a little bit of structure. So let's cut on the fabric. So as you can see, I've cut out the pattern on the fabric, and I cut out 2 pieces for each of these. Just like I've told you that we're going to be needing an interfacing, so I cut out the interfacing exactly the same way, and I've ironed it just to give it a little bit of structure. And then when you are cutting, make sure you cut on fold. This is what I mean. So you fold your fabric into 2. You can see the way I have it here. So you fold your fabric into 2, and because we are cutting on fold, we are not going to be needing this seam allowance here. So you will just fold this seam allowance in like this, and then you can see what I cut out. So you make sure you cut on fold. So, and I've done the same thing for the collar stand. So I have 2 pieces here for the collar stand. So this is the collar stand, and then the next thing we want to do now is to place the 2 on each other, right side facing each other like this, and then you're going to sew the side here and here and this part. So you will sew from here through to this part and down to this part, leaving this other side that we're going to be connecting to the collar stand. So that is what we are going to be doing now. So this is what you will have, and once you have this, the next thing you want to do now to make it flat and nice is to top stitch it. So you're just going to top stitch right from here, the way you sew it, right from here to this edge, down and to this edge. So once you've top stitched it, this is how it will look like. So once you've done this, the next thing we want to do now is to connect the collar stand to our collar fall. So, and you can remember this is the shape we drafted out. So you make sure the right side of the collar stand is facing up, and then you place your collars on it. So you place your collar on it just like this, and then also you will need to place the right side of the second, you place it on it. So just like this is what you will have. And then we're going to be sewing it. So I will just pin this down, so you can pin it down. So make sure you align these parts together. So just like this. And this time around, we're going to be sewing from here. You can see where we're going to be sewing from, through down to this part, and we're going to be finishing it at this part. So I will do that, then I will show you what next. So this is what we have. And then after this, the next thing you will do now is to turn it. You turn it out. You can see our collar is taking shape already. So once you've turned it out this way, just to make this flat, we are going to be top stitching from here, and at this edge you will be leaving half an inch. That is what you will need to join to the main shirt pattern. So you will need to leave that around half an inch, and then you're going to be top stitching from here down to this end, and then at this end also you will leave about half an inch. So I will do that and I will show you the final look. So guys, this is what we came up with. Our shirt collar is ready and ready to be fixed to the shirt. So all you need to do is just to fix this part to the neckline of your shirt. So this is the easiest and the simplest method of making a shirt collar. Make yours and share with us on our Facebook group at Donlarrie Easy Sewing Class. So we've come to the end of this tutorial. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you find it helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and leave your comment and question down at the comment section. And if you are yet to subscribe to my channel, kindly do so and put on the notification bell so that you get notified anytime I post a new video. Till I see you in my next video. Bye.